They say justice is blind, but within the capital city police department, it had become something far worse: corrupted, calculated, and cruel. For decades, a clandestine network of officers had honed the dark art of dismantling lives under the guise of the law, training rookies to perceive threats where none existed. They believed they had found the perfect protege in Officer Emily Carter, young, ambitious, and eager to climb the ranks by any means necessary. But everything began to unravel one Thursday afternoon when Emily arrested Malik Thompson. To her, he was just another statistic, another face that fit a narrative she'd been subtly taught to believe. What she couldn't foresee was that this single arrest would thrust her into the courtroom of Judge Elijah Grant, a man who had once turned his own wrongful imprisonment into a relentless crusade against police corruption. Known in legal circles as the Balance, Judge Grant didn't just ensure justice, he demanded it. The arrest report was airtight, or so Emily thought. She'd followed the playbook perfectly, detailing how Malik had acted suspiciously, refused to comply, and made what she described as a threatening movement. But there was one variable she hadn't accounted for: video evidence. Bystanders had recorded the entire interaction, and their footage painted a drastically different picture, one that would bring Emily's meticulously constructed world crashing down. Emily adjusted her neatly pressed uniform in her patrol car's rearview mirror, the morning sun catching the shine of her newly pinned badge. Her first solo patrol, she was eager to prove herself. Her father's words echoed in her mind. A badge is more than authority, it's respect. "Carter," Sergeant Lewis called out as she strode into the precinct. A seasoned officer with 25 years on the force, his voice carried the weight of hard-earned wisdom. "Got a minute before briefing?" "Of course, Sergeant," Emily replied, masking her impatience with a polite smile. He gestured toward a quieter corner of the break room. "Look, Emily, you're a good cop, but the city's different from what you trained for. It's complex, diverse. Take the time to understand the community." "With all due respect, Sergeant," she interrupted, her smile thinning, "I graduated top of my class. I can handle this." Lewis sighed. "That's exactly what worries me." The briefing room filled quickly, a chaotic blend of chatter and shuffling papers. Lieutenant Ramirez began the morning updates, standard stuff: car break-ins, a new drug ring, procedural reminders. Then she paused. "One more thing. Judge Elijah Grant will be presiding over several cases this month. He's thorough. No shortcuts. Everything by the book." Some officers exchanged knowing glances. Emily barely noted it, dismissing the warning. A judge was a judge. She'd handled worse. Later that afternoon, a dispatch crackled through her radio. "Possible disturbance at Maple and Fifth. Male subject loitering suspiciously." Emily responded without hesitation. "Unit 214 en route." She found Malik Thompson leaning against the storefront, casually scrolling through his phone. To her, the situation was clear-cut, textbook. Malik, dressed in business casual, looked up, surprised, as Emily approached. "Sir, I need you to step away from the entrance." "Excuse me," Malik replied, confused. "Received a call about suspicious behavior. I'll need to see some ID. I'm waiting for my sister. She works at the clinic next door. We're grabbing lunch." The explanation was logical, but Emily's training had taught her to see defiance in calmness. "I need your ID now. Can I ask why?" Her hand drifted to her belt. "Are you refusing a lawful order?" "No. Hands where I can see them." Emily's voice rose, catching the attention of passers-by, some of whom began recording. Malik, visibly tense but compliant, reached slowly for his wallet. "I'm just—" Emily didn't wait. Within moments, Malik was in handcuffs. Back at the precinct, Emily filed her report, confident in her actions. "Had to show him who's in charge," she remarked to fellow officers, missing the worried glances exchanged around her. But across town, Malik's sister, Danielle Thompson, sat in the office of Civil Rights Attorney Jordan Blackwell, detailing the traumatic arrest. "My brother's an accountant," Danielle insisted, her voice shaking. "He was waiting for me." "That's it." Jordan read the report, frowning at its contradictions. This case is going before Judge Grant. That changes everything. At the courthouse, Judge Elijah Grant studied the case file, his sharp eyes noting the inconsistencies, the language of authority, the dismissive framing of Malik's actions. "Marissa," he called to his clerk, "pull Officer Carter's training records. And find me that body cam footage." When court convened, Emily entered confidently, unaware that her narrative was about to collapse. Judge Grant wasted no time. "Mr. Blackwell, proceed." Jordan stood. "Your Honor, video evidence will show that Mr. Thompson complied fully. The arrest was unjustified." The courtroom screen lit up with the bystander footage. Emily's approach looked aggressive, her tone condescending. Malik's compliance was clear. Emily tried to interject. He made a sudden movement. Judge Grant's gaze was icy. "Officer Carter, you'll speak when addressed." The body cam footage played next, matching the bystanders' videos. Malik hadn't made any sudden moves. The threatening gesture Emily described was him reaching for his wallet, calmly announcing his intentions. Emily's face flushed. Her confidence faltered as the courtroom absorbed the truth. "Officer Carter," Judge Grant intoned, "did Mr. Thompson make a threatening move, as your report claims?" She hesitated, then whispered, "No, Your Honor." Louder, "No, sir. He didn't." A collective gasp filled the courtroom. The judge's gavel struck the bench. "All charges against Mr. Thompson are dismissed. Officer Carter, remain after court. We have further matters to discuss." In his chambers, Grant didn't mince words. "You lied in a sworn statement. That's perjury. But more importantly, you used your authority recklessly." Emily said silently, "Shame washing over here. I thought I was doing my job. You were following a broken system's playbook." But it stops here. Emily's case became the catalyst for a larger investigation, exposing systemic issues within the department. Judge Grant spearheaded the reforms, while Emily, suspended and awaiting disciplinary hearings, faced a new reality. Yet, she wasn't beyond redemption. In the months that followed, she worked with community outreach programs, speaking openly about the dangers of unchecked authority and the importance of accountability. Malik, after much deliberation, agreed to meet her. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. "Because I need to fix what I broke," she replied. "Then start by seeing me, not a statistic, not a threat, just a person." And she did. Justice isn't blind. It sees through the lies when someone finally shines a light bright enough.